Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes from the True Stories collection. Amy controls Kaldra Compleat, equipped to a grizzly bears, and Forge Anew. Can she move the Kaldra Compleat to a different creature after the grizzly bears deals its combat damage? If so, how much damage will the new creature deal this combat? Okay, so to answer this question, we'll need to know a couple of facts about how First Strike works. In general, the idea is that the creatures with First Strike get to deal their combat damage before normal creatures, but the way that's implemented in the game will have some major consequences for how this trick works out. So as you can see here, the way that First Strike officially works is by giving all the creatures with that ability their own special combat damage step where only they get to deal damage. After that combat damage step, there's a second combat damage step for everything else. In case you're wondering, Double Strike works by having the creatures deal damage at both of those times. As this relates to the original question though, that is great news for Amy. In order to move from one combat step to the next, then there's a spot where each player will get priority to cast spells or activate abilities. Since Forge Anew lets Amy activate equip abilities at instant speed on her turn, Amy will be able to equip the Kaldra Compleat to a different creature after the grizzly bears deals its damage, just like she wants. Some of you might be wondering, hey, that creature that Amy moved the Kaldra Compleat to has First Strike now. Will it be able to deal combat damage during the second combat damage step? And again, the answer to this question works out exactly the way that Amy would hope. As you can see, the rule is worded in such a way that if a creature gains First Strike after the first combat damage step, the game will realize what happened and allow such a creature to deal its damage during the second one. This works out extra nice for Amy in this case because it means that both creatures are going to be able to benefit from the Kaldra Compleat's +5/+5 during the time when they're assigning their combat damage. Let's note that this trick is not infinitely scalable. Unlike some other games, in Magic, creatures deal their combat damage together, not one at a time. There are only a maximum of 2 combat damage steps in each combat phase, so that means that only 2 of Amy's creatures will get to share the Kaldra Compleat's +5/+5 buff this way. She won't be able to give it to all of her creatures by moving it to each one of them in turn before it deals its damage. As a final thought, some of you might be wondering about another potential application of a similar trick. Would it be possible for Amy to wait until after Nick declares his blockers, then move the Kaldra Compleat to a creature based on how he's blocked? And again, the answer is that she can. Declaring blockers happens in a separate step in the combat phase, before damage is assigned and dealt. This means that Amy gets priority to cast spells and activate abilities before the game gets to move along to the combat damage step. You can even stack this trick with the previous one to move Kaldra Compleat to whatever creature is most advantaged before First Strike damage is dealt, and then again before normal damage is dealt. Forge Anew only gives you 1 free equip per turn, so you would have to pay for the second move normally. Of course, if you have a Pure Steel Paladin giving everything equip 0, that shouldn't be too big of an ask. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.